Let's get into it. If you're new here, in light of the recent Diddy revelations, we've been talking about this documentary. The New York Times presents Sin Eater, The Crimes of Anthony Pellicano. For those who didn't see part one, Anthony Pellicano was a notorious criminal Hollywood fixer, meaning his job was to go around and cover up all of the Hollywood messes that celebrities, Hollywood executives, big-time entertainment attorneys wanted to sweep under the rug. Part one, we talked about the Michael Jackson you-know-what case and how Anthony Pellicano was the fixer. I bet you didn't know that Michael Jackson hired a fixer to help him get out of that you-know-what trial. Now I want to talk about the Chris Rock recordings. So after Anthony Pellicano ends up getting arrested for his illegal activities, authorities found all these recordings of phone calls between Pellicano and his client. And little did we know, one was Chris Rock. While you're listening to this, I really want you to pay attention to how these motherfuckers be spinning the narrative to turn victims into perpetrators and to turn perpetrators into victims.
Example of how Pellicano would operate.
The first one that comes to mind is the Chris Rock recording.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Chris Rock, he was married at the time, and he was at the Four Seasons with a friend, and they ended up picking up two women, and he ended up sleeping with one of them. This woman is now claiming to have Chris Rock's baby. She's also alleging that he forced himself on her.
Steven called me this morning.
Yeah?
The file.
Oh, I want to hear.
Anthony starts off by telling him that he has gotten the police report.
I will read this to you. I'm not supposed to have this thing. Do you understand that?
Right.
I'm not supposed to have this thing, but
Okay,
I got
so
it.
nobody knows.
See, any rape victim is confidential. You can't get it. There's no record of it. Understand?
Chris Rock might not have broken any laws by listening to this or responding to this or using it in his defense, but certainly what the tape shows is that he raised no objection to being told, I'm not supposed to have this, let's change your story.
I've been so set up.
Okay, pause real quick. First of all, you see how Pellicano makes it clear to Chris Rock that he's not supposed to have these files on this rape case because rape case files are supposed to be confidential. Now, obviously he knows that he's recording himself, so he's not gonna say anything too incriminating. You see how he says, like, you get what I'm saying here, partner? You get it? Do you get it? What he's saying is, which we find out later, is that he has cops on the payroll, and that's how he was able to get illegal access to these confidential files. These are the things that are happening behind the scenes of these high-profile Hollywood scandals, especially the ones that involve women accusing these rich, powerful men of rape. We're not told that these celebrities are hiring Hollywood fixers who have police on their payroll to go in and illegally access these accusers' files. When we later see these people plead out in court and we're like, oh, they just did that for the money. We don't know that this type of issues going on back behind the scenes. And then the second thing, this right here, oh, I've been so set up, God. It's always a setup. It's always were you set up? Was it a setup for you, a married man, to take a woman into a hotel and sleep with her? That was a setup.
I've been so set up. God.
But I need to know from you, honey.
What do you need to know?
Did you come on her thighs? You said you had a rub on her, brother.
I had a rubber on. I probably took it off right when I was getting ready to come. Probably came on her ass,
So, you got to change your story now.
We have somebody with means and power who's able to employ somebody like Anthony Pellicano, playing the system to their own benefit. It's a total imbalance of power.
The wonderful thing about this is that the police department didn't believe her.
I'm just, once, you're accused of rape, it's just fucked. You're just fucked.
I know, that's why I want to blacken this girl up. Totally.
You are just
Do you understand?
fucked.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make her out to be a lying scumbag, manipulating cocksucker. That's what I want.
I love how they completely stopped captioning the vulgar part of this conversation. And when Anthony Pellicano asks him, where did you deposit your seed? His response is, I don't know, probably on her fill in the blank. Let me tell you, anytime you ask somebody who's been caught in something what happened and they say, I don't know, probably, that's what happened. That's what happened. They just trying to create plausible deniability. That's exactly what he did. Then Pellicano says, you got to change your story now. But I thought your story was the truth. You don't need to change a story if it's the truth. Did Chris object? No. He's too worried about his goddamn self. Pellicano tells him the wonderful thing is that the police department, they didn't believe anything that she said. Of course. Why would police ever believe a grape victim? And how does Anthony Pellicano know what the police department did or didn't believe? Oh, that's right. He has cops on his payroll. And then we get to the point. That's why I want to blacken this girl up totally. I want to make her out to be a lying, manipulating. First of all, he just had to say black into a black man. They always got to be doing nonsense like that. But it also conjures up images of violence because when do people get blackened? When they get bruised. He wants to make her out to be a No. He didn't say, I want to prove that she's he said, I'm going to make her out to be. Words, language matters, y'all. Language matters. He telling on himself right here. She's not lying. He's going to make her out to be like she is. Then, of course, what happens? What always happens? They settled out of court. Anthony Pellicano did such a great job on this case. We never even heard about it. Think about how many other cases Pellicano managed to keep out of the press. What gets me so hot about this is that everything you hear in this phone call is exactly everything they use against victims to discredit them.